This morning at 8 on Fox 14.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now it's 7. Samantha Walker showing us how one Pittsburgh business is gearing up for the Super Bowl with everybody's favorite cookies.
And also, Republicans have rejected a bipartisan border deal from the Biden administration.
And take a look at this shot. A beautiful but cold start to our Wednesday. However, the spring-like weather, as that says, continues. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door. Coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News.
Where was that even going?
I was going to say Oregon for some reason. Good Oregon.
Good Oregon. Good Oregon.
On Fox 14. I'm Caitlin.
My God. All right. I'm Chris Warner. It is almost 7:01 now.
You're doing so good.
With good oaring, like maybe if you're rowing a boat or something. Good oaring today. I wouldn't recommend. Just keep working on that. Well, it is cold outside, so I don't recommend any oaring, and it's raining in Oregon, so I don't recommend Oregon right now either. But we also have the Super Bowl coming up.
Oh, yes, we do, Chris. For many people, the Super Bowl is about not only the game, but also the food.
KOAM Samantha Walker is going to help us clear our heads and tell us how one Pittsburgh bakery is helping Chiefs fans represent their team in a pretty sweet way.
January can be a slow month for many businesses, but a Chiefs journey to the Super Bowl can create new opportunities.
So thankfully we've had some experience with this the last few years because this is not the first Chiefs Super Bowl for a while. And we started doing a Super Bowl special with the Chiefs assortment of cookies.
The owner of Celebrations by Lori says Chief cookies have become a popular item.
We have our standouts, of course. Everybody loves Mahomes, everybody loves Kelsey, but we have those diehard fans that really want to see Pacheco and Jones celebrated. So, Coach Reed, of course, leading the pack. We've always tried to make sure we include everybody's favorites.
After the Chiefs AFC Championship win, Horton posted the special cookie offer to fans.
Well, we posted our special as soon as the game ended Sunday night, and within 1 hour we had sold out as many cookie orders as what we could fulfill, which was crazy. In literally 60 minutes, we had taken over 100 dozen orders for the Chiefs cookies.
The bakery had to stop accepting orders as a result of the cookies' popularity.
We bake everything fresh every single day, so of course there is a limit to what we can fulfill as far as that baking and decorating process. So those just got lumped into any other day. Of course, that day will be completely filled with Chiefs designs, more so than others.
But she says they are ready for the excitement the Super Bowl brings.
We were hopeful, just like all the rest of the fans around here, that this would be a problem we needed to solve, and we're super happy that we're having to face that challenge.
And the fan support makes the hard work worth it.
So to have that feedback come back in and know that we are as important to their celebrations as, who comes to them and who's invited, it's like we're a member of that party. So, oh my gosh, it's everything to us. It really is.
In Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The bakery will have a limited amount of Chiefs-themed cookies available for purchase in the store for those who are unable to order.
Yeah, and so you're from Oregon. You were born in Oregon.
Born and raised in Oregon.
In Oregon. So I think that's where the Oregon situation came from.
I got Oregon on my mind.
Oregon.
I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. Welcome to Oregon.
Now I want to play the Oregon Trail.
Well, let's go play that up.
I think we're going to have to forget the rest of the show. I'm sorry. We're going to have to go and play the Oregon Trail here. You kids at home will never know the struggle of making it from Independence to Oregon.
No one can make it.
Oh my gosh, I don't know how many times my family died. Everyone died.
It's a great game.
It was bad. All right, what's not so bad, though, is our forecast. Now, right now, it's cold outside. Our camera on top of the Cornell Complex showing us a beautiful sunrise, and that is a precursor of the day that is to come, as it is going to be another spring-like day out there. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line, folks getting their day underway, and as I mentioned, I hope you were able to get a day or two off this week, because this weekend, we're getting rain. We're getting much-needed rain, but it just means you can't enjoy the nice weather and unfortunately, it won't return until after the weekend. Go figure. All right, Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear on the local level. Speaking of Oregon, off the coast of Oregon, maybe that's what's going on here. Off the coast of Oregon, there's our low pressure system. There's the rain, and this will be bringing us rain as we head into the upcoming weekend. We've been dealing with some patchy fog in our northern counties, so kind of restricted at this point along 54 between Nevada and Stockton, so do be aware of that. We are sitting at 34 in, there it is, Joplin, 31 in Pittsburgh, and as we go through today, once that fog clears out, sunny skies, temperatures back into the low 60s again, and then we're going to see those changes. We'll talk about the rain chances and the changes we're expecting and how long the warm weather hangs on in that full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Kaylin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, prosecutors issue a warrant for second-degree murder in connection with a two-county murder investigation. Authorities served the warrant to this man, Bradley Keith, who was already in jail in connection to the death of 27-year-old Shayna Haynes earlier this month. Investigators say on January 17th, Keith led them to a .22 caliber pistol hidden in a log at the end of Vernon County Road 2750. An investigation conducted by Missouri law enforcement resulted in the recovery of Haynes' body from a brush and wood fire in a rural area of Cedar County. Now, court documents show Haynes' body was moved and placed in the fire on or about January 16th in an attempt to destroy or conceal evidence of a crime. Keith and two other men have already been arrested and charged with tampering with physical evidence in felony prosecution and felony abandonment of a corpse. The Department of Veterans Affairs announces the location for a new outpatient clinic in Southeast Kansas. The VA Eastern Kansas Healthcare System's newest clinic will be located in Iola at 1408 East Street. To help area veterans learn about the services offered, the VA will provide information sessions in 4 Southeast Kansas communities. The first will be in Garnett on February 6th, then in Chanute on February 7th, Iola on the 8th, and Fort Scott on the 9th. For more information, visit our website at koamnewsnow.com. Unity of Joplin met yesterday for their weekly Friends of Unity meeting. Members take advantage of the meeting to give back to the Joplin community. Yesterday afternoon, they did just that by cutting plastic grocery store bags into strips to create mats for the unhoused population of Joplin. The group stressed the role of prayer and hard work.
Prayer-based group, and everything else is kind of an outgrowth of that. But and I would like to add to that prayer-based group that prayer is great. Get off your butt and do something.
Members also used yesterday's meeting to begin work on this year's Trunk or Treat event. House Speaker Mike Johnson reportedly says a bipartisan border deal is officially dead. That's according to Republicans who attended a meeting with him yesterday. Johnson's office says he'll address the matter at length later today. Amy Kiley reports on the politics around the decision.
I have talked to former President Trump about this issue at length, and he understands that. He understands that we have a responsibility to do here.
Speaker Mike Johnson is declaring a bipartisan border deal dead, according to House Republicans. Former President Donald Trump wants to kill the plan. GOP Senator James Lankford has been negotiating with Senate Democrats. That has Republican leaders feeling stuck, according to GOP Senator John Cornyn.
We ought to do everything we can to try and fix it. And if we can't get there, fine. But if we don't try, then shame on us.
Some Republicans are falling in line with Trump. They refuse to support any border legislation that doesn't meet all their demands. That's a tall order in a divided Congress.
Bipartisanship is the only way that action on the border is going to happen.
Republicans say President Joe Biden should use more executive actions to address immigration.
Our country is experiencing a full-fledged invasion with illegal immigrants encouraged by Joe Biden's open border policies.
Biden says he's done all he can without Congress, but he says the day he can sign a bipartisan bill letting him close the border, he will shut it down. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Johnson has said Republicans don't want to address other issues before passing border legislation. Senator Cornyn says it's unclear if that will change now. And up next, rowing joins us with Wildcat Wednesday for a unique classroom project. And later, students in Pineville got a little taste of some Civil War history yesterday. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
When it comes to working with my clients, We're here for you 24/7.
Having a class project or pet is a great way to help enforce what students are learning in the classroom. And David Rolling is with us this morning with a different take on a classroom project. Welcome, David.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
This is fascinating. What is this?
So what we have here is an incubator. It will hold 14 eggs total. And one of the programs we offer is taking this into classrooms, or teachers can check it out and do it by themselves.
Okay.
But what I do is I'll take this into a classroom and I'll teach the kids about incubating eggs, and they get to hatch chicks in their classroom.
That's insane. Okay. I love that. I mean, growing up, we just had like a lizard, you know?
Yeah.
So you have a chicken. The chicken lays the egg, all right? And then you put the egg in here, and this heats it up, and then how long does the whole process take?
Yeah, exactly. So this keeps it warm and turns the eggs just like a hen would. Yes.
Okay.
Because the mama hen would usually turn the eggs herself in the nest, but this has a disc in it that automatically turns the eggs, and then it keeps the eggs warm and the correct level of humidity. So then in 21 days, chicks will hatch.
Wow, that is so cool. And so what happens when the baby chicks hatch? What do you do with them then?
So once they hatch, they usually stay in the classroom a couple days. That's up to the teachers, but the kids are always super excited to have them hatch. And they enjoy the chicks for a couple of days, and then the chicks go to their new home. And a lot of times the chicks have a home before they're even hatched, because the teacher or school secretary will take them home to add to their flock or to start raising chickens themselves.
That is so fun. And why do you guys do this?
So we do this as a part of an educational program that we offer, just to teach kids about chickens and agriculture in general.
That's fascinating and incredible. I've never seen one of these before, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool because of course it has the clear top so the kids can watch them hatch.
Oh yes.
Throughout the day, and then the top of it here, so it's all digitally programmed. So I set the temperature, the number of days that it will turn the eggs once every hour. So the teachers, all they have to do is monitor it. So over the weekends it will be okay, it will run itself. They don't have to worry about it.
Fascinating. Well, thank you so much for joining us for another Wildcat Wednesday, and stick around because we got more news coming up right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is going to be 7:17 here in about 3 seconds. There we go. On this Wednesday morning here in the 4 states, beautiful view of that sunrise from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline. Plenty of cars on the road as we get this workday, hump day workday underway. And here in just a moment, the KDOT camera on 69 just south of Pittsburgh will appear. And there it is, like magic. And there's some folks getting their day underway as well. It is cold out there this morning, and we've been dealing with some isolated patchy fog. So far, it's been restricted to our northern counties. Nevada, Stockton, right along 54 corridor, still dealing with some reduced visibility. So just keep in mind, anywhere out there, though, you could run into some. I ran into some near Carl Junction. No water, nothing like that nearby, just a couple of little strips of low-lying fog, and then it was clear again. Skywatch Storm Tracker, weak wave down in New Mexico, some showers out in the Carolinas, and then off the coast of Oregon. We've got our low pressure system. We've got rain along the west coast. This system is what's going to bring us our rain as we head into the weekend. Our camera 7th and Rangeline, another nice view of that sunrise. 34 in Joplin, feeling like 29 with an east-southeast breeze at about 6 miles an hour. Temperatures around the area, save Nevada and Parsons, both sitting at 28. Everybody else low to mid-30s out there. As we go through the morning, that patchy fog should burn off by 9. We're going to be sunny by late morning, pushing near 50. We have highs today, once again, well above average into the low 60s under those sunny skies across the area. As we head into the evening and overnight, clouds will gradually increase through the evening and overnight. It will be mostly cloudy, but that also traps in some of that warmer air and keeps us a little warmer overnight into the low 40s. But bear in mind, just as kind of getting an association as to where we are and where we should be, That's where our average highs should be, is what our low is tonight. That's how far above average we've been lately. All right, we head into Friday. Mostly cloudy skies for us, warmer yet. And then by late night Friday, we start to see rain roll into the area. There may be a rumble of thunder or two, but nothing too crazy, mostly just rain. And it will stick with us all through Saturday and all through Sunday into early Monday morning before it exits out. So we absolutely need the rain, and it is great to see the rain. It's just unfortunate that it's coming on the weekend when we have all this nice weather and you finally get an opportunity to enjoy it and it's going to rain. But we need the rain, and we'll take whatever we can get whenever we can get it. All right, tomorrow, mostly cloudy, breezy, south winds gusting upwards of 30, low 60s, mid 60s Friday. The rain does cool us back a little, but we still stay above average into the 50s. And then by the time we head into next week, more rain chances toward the end of the week, but the nice temperatures return as we go back in the low to mid 60s next week as well. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Kansas Crossing Casino is more than a gaming destination. To tears. All new We Are Family after an all new I Can See Your Voice Wednesday on Fox.
Students in Pineville, Missouri were immersed into the history of the Civil War yesterday afternoon.
KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
My grandmother started me at about 6-8 years old. My great-great-grandfather had been in the 1st Arkansas Cavalry.
Not only does the Civil War run deep in our nation's history, but Mike Patrick's history as well.
My grandmother used to tell me this stuff, but it never really soaked in until I got older and got really interested in history. Then as I started to study it, what she told me I found out was true.
And sharing that history through reenactment is the perfect way to connect with students. Something teacher Maggie Johnson agrees with.
I love when they kind of make that face, because you know when that face comes up that some connection has just been made. I love that they get to see and touch things. It will spark more questions after they leave. They'll ask some of the presenters, but once they're gone and they're comfortable with me, we'll have great conversations.
For Mike, this isn't just a hobby. It drives his life.
8 years ago, I was diagnosed with esophageal cancer, and your chances of survival are very slim. And it was this stuff and my family, and looking forward to the day that I would get better, that I could do this kind of stuff, that I think made me improve.
And for Maggie, teaching our nation's history is a vital part of these students one day facing the world on their own.
Beliefs we hold deeply in this country and what beliefs deeply divide us in this country are all things they need to know as future citizens, to be responsible citizens. And so I think that that's our priority, is to understand our history.
Reporting in Pineville, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Students were able to interact with all of the equipment and clothing that was presented yesterday, and Mrs. Johnson says that this kind of presentation can create future historians for years to come.
Yeah, it's a lot different to read something and actually be immersed in it.
How fun,
part
right?
of it in a way.
Yes,
so it's
great
a
experience.
lot more fun, lot more educational that way.
Absolutely. Well, coming up, Fernanda Silva shares how one building in Joplin has a long history of helping others.
And even though we've got a cold start out there, it is going to be another spring-like day. We'll take a look at that forecast when we come back.
Fund USA. Visit KOAMNewsNow.com/HeroFund for the application and guidelines.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. The time now is 7:27 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy. Several libraries in the Show Me State will soon receive grant money for additional funding. The Missouri Secretary of State announces almost $400,000 will head to 49 summer library programs distributed to several libraries in the state. Libraries in our area that will receive grant money include Barton County, Joplin, and McDonald County. These grants provide funding for educational presentations, library materials, and program supplies. Drivers in Pittsburgh may want to seek a detour in the coming days. Beginning today at 9 a.m., West 20th Street between Walnut and Pine will be closed for repairs. Motorists are encouraged to seek alternative routes when possible and to use extreme caution when traveling in the area of construction. Also be aware of workers in the work zone, and construction should be completed on Friday, February 2nd. On cold days that hit the 4 states this month, Mini Hackney Community Service Center of Joplin served as a warming center not only for the homeless population, but also for their pets. The building in downtown Joplin has a long history of providing shelter for people dating back to the segregation days. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
This place served as a spot where people could come to find out, black people could come to find out where they could buy gas, where they could eat. And if there wasn't enough private lodging during the times of segregation, they were able to lodge here within the walls of this building.
According to Nanda Nunnally, volunteer at Mini Hackney Community Service Center, the building located on Joplin's Main Street has a long history of helping people who were not welcomed in other areas. Almost 80 years after being founded, the center is still a safe space for members of the community. When the temperatures drop in the 4 states area, the location opens its doors as a warming center.
He said, because of you, I survived. I don't know that we would have survived just being out on the street.
To people and to their pets.
They didn't have this shelter. They would just have to stay outside with their animals, or they could go inside, but their animals would be cold. The community helped a lot by bringing in cages for the animals. We had a lot of volunteers. It took a lot of people to get it together, but we made it happen.
With the help of community members, the center offered pet crates. More than 20 people and 10 pets were there over a week.
They were very happy, very thankful. We got a lot of happy faces, and it's nice to see the animals too.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
According to the center, the warming center service was provided with no public funding from federal, state, or city help. This Thursday, the service center will host an event to celebrate Langston Hughes' 123rd birthday. You can find more information about it on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And the Spiver Center for the Arts yesterday hosted an after-school art class for 3rd graders. The themed artist was Laurel Birch, a contemporary artist who is known for her use of colors, patterns, and animals. The students were able to make their own rendition of a cat through their own perspective with colors and patterns.
Art is the release of what's in your mind. It goes through your fingers and on your paper, so you can actually see what your passion is as you go. And there's no right or wrong. I mean, especially at this level, we're just wanting to get out that creativity.
These classes are weekly. They happen every Tuesday until May 21st from 4 p.m. till 5:15. Crowder College kicked off Winterfest yesterday. The 2-day event serves as a showcase for campus clubs and organizations. In addition to being a fun day and a way to meet people, the event also serves as a way to impress potential employers.
I feel like just being involved. I love just like being a person everyone can go to if they have any questions about Crowder, and just being a helping hand. I say, just staying involved is the main thing, why I stay so busy. So.
The event wraps up today at 1 in the afternoon in the Student Center on the Neosha campus.
And even though we've got a cold start across the area, we are going to warm up to spring-like temperatures once again. Quick look outside, MoDOT camera 20th and range line. Folks getting their day underway. We got those clear skies, seeing that sunlight out there. Skywatch Storm Tracker, of course, on the local level is clear. Some clouds out to our east, some showers in the Carolinas, a little wave down in New Mexico, and then that big swirling mass off the coast of Oregon and Washington. That's a low pressure system, and that is bringing rain right now up to the northwest, and eventually is going to shift our direction and bring us rain as we head into the weekend. Visibility is continuing to improve along 54, Nevada and Stockton, but some patchy fog will still be possible in other areas through about 9 o'clock this morning, so just be aware of that. 34 in Joplin, 32 in Pittsburgh. So again, it's cold, but we're going to make it back into the low 60s today. Sunny skies, plentiful sunshine. Clouds will start to increase tonight, and then as I mentioned, we have those rain chances on the way. We'll talk about all that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Caitlin?
President Biden says he has a plan to respond to the drone attack in Jordan that killed U.S. forces. And American families remember and honor the 3 service members who lost their lives over the weekend. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor is in Washington with that story.
It's hard for the parents to endure.
That's why I honor her so much and believe she's a hero.
American families now grieving after a drone struck a U.S. base in Jordan over the weekend, killing 3 U.S. soldiers. The White House blames an Iran-backed group for the deadly strike, sparking calls for retaliation.
The only way to solve that threat is to directly target Iran's terrorist forces throughout the region and in Iran itself.
President Biden says he's made a decision on how to respond. A senior U.S. official telling Fox it will likely come in phases.
I don't think we need a wider war in the Middle East. That's not what I'm looking for.
This is one of those rare situations that I don't know that an immediate retaliatory strike is exactly what's needed. We're not here to play a tit-for-tat game with Iran on their terms.
Yet Iran proxies continue to target military bases in the region and disrupt shipping in the Red Sea.
While we do not seek to escalate tensions in the region, we will also take all necessary actions to protect our troops, our facilities, and our interests.
On Tuesday, President Biden spoke with the families of those killed in the drone strike and will be in Dover, Delaware on Friday for the dignified transfer of their remains. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Amber Jenkins shares how nursing homes see a high amount of depression and how being social is key to stopping it.
Ordinary. We Are Family, Wednesday at 9/8 Central on Fox.
Credo Senior Living in Fort Scott held a discussion about dealing with depression while in a nursing home. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
Loss of appetite, restless sleep, and isolation are just some of the symptoms of depression. According to doctors, residents in nursing homes are more prone to depression while adjusting to the facilities.
They get kind of written off, and they have issues just the same as we do. Their symptoms may be a little bit different, but they still need to be addressed. There still needs to be interventions. And I think a lot of times, especially in facilities like nursing homes and assisted livings, those problems are sometimes overlooked.
Dr. Daniels meets with residents who suffer from depression. Although everyone experiences it differently, he says more family involvement is just as effective as medications.
For example, we may do medications and therapy, but we also would recommend, participation in activities, in the facility, as well as more family involvement.
In this Credo community, our families are very involved with the residents as well. So it's not just we don't just stop at our connection with the residents, we extend to the families as well.
Adjusting to senior living can be difficult after living on your own for decades, but residents say the key is not to keep an idle mind.
People keeping busy and not just sitting down and just giving up, I think.
Since joining the Credo Senior Living community 4 months ago, Lois Wilson says she stays active with the activities.
Bingo.
And being social.
I'm very active. I don't like to sit in a chair and do nothing, and I'm an active person. I've done a lot of walking when I was home, and I didn't have time to be depressed.
Reporting in Fort Scott, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Credo Senior Living says their events and discussions are open to the community as well. And coming up, farmers across Europe are going on strike. Greg Palkut shares how that might affect you. Plus, Chris will have your midweek forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning Show on Fox 14.
Welcome to Miss Daisy's Home and Decor, and give your home the makeover it deserves.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:41 now on this Wednesday morning, and we are looking at our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, and it's an absolutely gorgeous start to the day there. Beautiful sunrise, not a cloud in the sky, looking great from the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range line as well. Folks getting their day underway, and here in just a moment, the KDOT camera on 69 south of Pittsburgh will appear like magic. And we can see the sun peeking over the trees now. Just again, a beautiful start to the day. We've had some patchy fog. We got some now around Grove, Miami, Nevada, Stockton, some somewhat reduced visibilities. And you could run into some patchy fog in other locations. Nothing too crazy, but just be aware of that. Skywatch Storm Tracker again, local level is clear. Showers in the Carolinas, wave down in New Mexico, and then out off the west coast, that big swirl is a low pressure system bringing showers to the Pacific Northwest and Northern California, and that will be making its way way into our area as we head into the weekend. Another view of that sunrise. I moved the camera just a little. You can see the sun there. Looks great. Clear skies, 34 in Joplin, feeling like 29 with an east-southeast breeze at about 6 miles an hour. Around the region, again, we've got Nevada and Parsons in the 20s right now. Everybody else in the low to mid 30s out there, and we all are going to warm up to another beautiful day. Once the fog clears out, which it should be gone by 9, we're going to see sunny skies near 50 by 11 o'clock this morning. Heading into this afternoon, we are looking once again at highs 60 degrees, low 60s, plentiful sunshine across the area, another very warm day. And to give you perspective on how warm we are, we go through the evening, clouds increase, we'll go mostly cloudy overnight. That helps keep some of the warm air in. Lows into the low 40s. That is about where our high should be for this time of year. That's how off pace we are from average with our temperatures this week. Again, not that anyone's complaining, but just give you some perspective as to where we sit. All right, mostly cloudy skies on our Friday, and as we head into late Friday night, that's where we're going to see that low pressure system that's out to the west roll in, and it's going to bring us a couple of days of rain. So we're going to have rain showers from Friday night through all day on Saturday. Could have a rumble of thunder or two, but no severe weather, nothing like that at this point. But mostly just rain, and that rain continues through Saturday night into Sunday, and we should be out of here by very early Monday morning. So we need the rain, and we're absolutely grateful that it's here. It's just unfortunate it couldn't roll in like tomorrow and Friday. That way the weekend would be nice again. But that's just the way Mother Nature's planning this out. So going into tomorrow, low 60s, breezy, south winds gusting upwards of about 30, mid 60s or better on Friday. Rain moves in, rain through the weekend, a little cooler, still above normal, but a little cooler. But worry not. More nice temperatures, more shower chances by the end of next week, and temperatures next week return back 20 degrees above normal into the low to mid 60s. That's Check Your Forecast. Now we're going to send it over to Caitlin with Consumer Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, home prices rise for a 10th straight month. Prices rose 5.1% in November year over year, according to the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller Index. Prices also rose 0.2% from the previous month on a seasonally adjusted basis, and the price increases are happening during a shortage in supply. According to a report from Realtor.com, home supply is down 34.3% from what would be typical before the start of the pandemic. UPS announces it's cutting 12,000 jobs, the company attributing the cuts to lower volume and a more than $9 billion drop in revenue year over year. UPS says the cuts will affect less than 3% of its workforce. The company also says it's continuing to align its staffing to the needs of its business. Farmers across Europe are protesting and blocking roadways to demand better pay, lower production costs, and fewer industry constraints. Demonstrations have worried that it could further impact the global food crisis. And Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palkett has the story.
No sign of retreat from French farmers encircling Paris on its major highways with tractor barricades. Protesters with food reserves, tents, and water set up camp Monday, and they say they're in it for the long haul.
We have everything we need to eat, barbecues, and a wall of hay to shield ourselves from the wind.
Farmers are taking a stand to demand better pay, an end to over-regulation, and protections against cheap imports. Many saying farming has become too difficult and brings in little profit.
I run my farm, but if I don't earn money, I cannot invest. It's an economy that doesn't function anymore.
Similar demonstrations also happening in southern France, Belgium, and Italy. Near Rome, traffic wasn't blocked, but a group of over 100 farmers took over an area in front of a major motorway to peacefully protest European Union agricultural policies.
It's not the Europe of the people. It's not the Europe of those who work. It's the multinational corporations that rule Europe.
French President Emmanuel Macron defended those policies during a trip to Sweden on Tuesday, but he also called on EU members to do more to protect farmers from a flood of Ukrainian produce imports. President Macron says he'll address the food crisis with the EU president on Thursday during a summit with other European leaders in Brussels. In London, Greg Palkott, Fox News.
And those are our top Consumer Watch stories this morning. Now let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
respect.
Would you? You look very stupid.
The CDC reports about 1/4 of older adults are considered socially isolated.
A senior center in Phoenix is giving its residents an opportunity to recreate a second family and a connection with others. Fox's Dominique Newland reports.
We all need some place to call home. And for seniors who may live alone, finding that sense of community can be difficult. At Phoenix nonprofit Chicano por la Causa's Casa de Primavera Senior Center, the family aspect is what drew Monroy Martinez in.
I'm the youngest one here, they tell me. I'm 66, and the rest of these people are older than I am. So we all get together just like we're brothers and sisters.
Valley seniors 65 years and older are invited to come to the center for conversations, mental health services, and a variety of classes that they can participate in.
We have KEO representatives, which is also within CPLC, who helps them with access renewal, food stamps, their insurance. We have all types of resources, really. If there's a need that they address, we'll try to find a resource for them.
The center is open to all seniors outside of its 200 residents who live at an apartment complex on site. And the goal? To eliminate the feeling of loneliness and bring love and acceptance into the center.
We already are a family, but we like to share that even more, especially around the holidays. We give them gifts, we give them food, we go above and beyond with decorations, music, just really trying to give them that positive outlook and that ability to socialize, not just throughout the year, but also, in those extra times where we might feel a little extra lonely.
Officials say they can see up to 150 people a day to help with everything from a hot meal for low-income seniors or those just looking for a conversation. Because at the end of the day, regardless of our age, we all could use a shoulder to lean on. For Fox 10 News, I'm Dominique Newland.
I want to live in a retirement home. I do. I just had this great idea. Hear me out.
Okay.
A retirement home, but for millennials. So you go, you get to eat together with all your friends, you go back into your room, you work on your laptop.
Club.
No, it'd be so fun. It'd be like living in the dorms again.
I guess so. We need a community center where we can hold it. But the thing is, we have to get together to hold the events. And
no, we could do like knitting. We could make it like fun, arts and crafts.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's my new $1 million idea.
Whatever floats your boat, okay? And I got something that's going to float your boat. Another spring-like day. Quick look at the fog tracker. We're still dealing with some patchy fog out there. You can see Nevada, Stockton, Grove, and Miami reporting some reduced visibilities. That'll continue through about 9 o'clock in the morning. Our next weather maker is off the west coast. There it is, bringing rain to the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, and it'll eventually bring us our rain here. Quick final check of the currents. It is 34 in Joplin, feeling like 29 with an east-southeast breeze at 6. Temperatures around the region again, Nevada, Parsons in the 20s. Everybody else getting into the low 30s out there. Fog clears out by 9, sunny skies by late morning and near 50. We're having another look at your forecast, plus the news you need to know right after this.
Dennis Tyndall, a four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines and news you need to know before you head out the door. The Department of Veterans Affairs announces the location for a new outpatient clinic in Southeast Kansas. The VA Eastern Kansas Healthcare System's newest clinic will be located in Iola at 1408 East Street. To help area veterans learn about the services offered, the VA will provide information sessions in 4 Southeast Kansas communities. The first will be in Garnett on February 6th, then in Chanute on February 7th, Iola on the 8th, and Fort Scott on the 9th. On cold days that hit the 4 states this month, Mickey Henney Community Service Center of Joplin served as a warming center, not only for the homeless population, but also for their pets. With the help of community members, the center offered pet crates, as most shelter facilities don't allow furry friends. The building in downtown Joplin has a long history providing shelter for people dating back to the segregation days. And students at Pineville Elementary School yesterday welcomed Civil War enthusiasts and reenactors. These guests were able to bring stories of what it was like for soldiers to fight and live in the Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas areas. The reenactors also brought accurate clothing and gear used by both Union and Confederate soldiers. The teacher, Mrs. Johnson, says this is the perfect way for students to be introduced into an important part of our nation's history.
All right, we've got highs again, low 60s today, plentiful sunshine out there. Clouds will increase gradually through the evening. We'll go mostly cloudy overnight, trapping in some warm air, and we'll go into the low 40s, and that's where our highs should be for this time of year. Breezy, cloudy tomorrow, low 60s, mid 60s Friday, rain late night Friday into Sunday, potentially into early Monday morning. A little cooler on Sunday, and then the warmer temperatures return next week back into the low to mid 60s.
All right. Well, a long torchlit procession through the heart of the Shetland Islands on Tuesday culminated with the burning of a replica Viking ship in an ancient ritual known as Heli AA.
According to the Shetland Islands Council, the annual festival in Lerwick includes around 1,000 torchbearers marching with accompanying song and dance while a Viking ship or galley is dragged to a burning site.
Once there, the torchbearers hurl their torches into the vessel and watch it burn as the crowd sings. The tradition follows more than 140 years of an organized festival, mixing together elements that go back 12 centuries to the time of Vikings.
That is certainly an impressive festival.
It is.
It's a lot of torches, too.
That is a lot of torches.
A lot of torches.
Very different than Burning Man.
Very different. Well, thank you all so much for letting us put the good and the Oregon in your morning.
Good one. Good one. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.